Hello and welcome to another episode of the Executive Hub Show. My name is Mustafa Hosseini, your host for the show. At the Executive Hub Show, we share tips, strategies, and actionable advice from successful entrepreneurs that you could use to apply to your business on a day to day basis and hopefully see results. This episode is brought to you by Persyo. If you're tired of complicated marketing and not seeing results, Persyo has your back. They help you create a simple and effective strategy to attract more customers and boost your sales. No confusing jargon, just clear, actionable steps. If you're ready to level up your marketing game, just head over to persyo.com/strategy and start winning today. Persyo is PERSYO and persyo.com. My guest today is April Davis. Let me bring her in. Hey, April.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, thanks.
Good to see you. How's your day so far?
I can't complain. It's just busy. This is a busy time of year for us.
Fantastic. Let me do the proper introduction for April, and we're going to dive into a very interesting conversation about how she went from a small town to love matchmaking empire. April Davis is the founder of LUMA Luxury Matchmaking, who turned her natural talent for intuition and connecting people into a thriving business. From a small town girl with big city dreams, April always knew her true calling was to help people find real, lasting love. Not just the fairy tale kind, but the kind that stands the test of time. So, welcome again, April.
Hi,
We're
thanks for having me.
great to have you. Where about are you?
I'm in Minnesota.
Fantastic. And what's the weather like right now?
It's actually not too bad for January. It's in the 40s today and it's sunny, so I'll take it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's get into it. What is your story?
Well, I started matchmaking. Actually, the first couple I ever put together was when I was 16 years old, and it was between I worked at a small cafe, and there was a patron that would come in every day, and I knew he was single. And then also one of the ladies I worked with, and there she was also another waitress, and I knew she was single. So I introduced them and basically kind of nudged them along, and they ended up getting married. So it was my first success story as a matchmaker, even though I didn't know what a matchmaker was at that time. It kind of introduced me or made me realize, like, hey, maybe I have a knack for this. So fast forward 10 years later, I was looking at some of the different reviews of other alternative matchmaking services, or so-called matchmaking services, online, and just I knew, like, my background is in process improvement, and I thought, well, I could do better than this. And so I started what is now Luma. And so that was 2010. And yeah, we've been growing. Now we're nationwide, and we're Inc. 5000 company. And we have been helping, thousands of singles across the country to find their person.
That's amazing. So, I tell us about the problem that you solve.
Yes.
Actually, let's get into who you serve and what you do for them before we
Yeah.
get into the problem.
So we work with busy professionals, executives, people that don't have maybe a lot of time. They are more particular in their tastes. They're looking for someone in particular, and they don't want to deal with the whole online dating and app nonsense. So they just outsource the search, just like anything else in life, you can outsource, and they let the professionals handle it. So we have our own proprietary database that we can search through and vet people on our clients' behalf, or we can also go out and recruit people that look like they would be a match for what our clients are looking for.
Love it. And then, so what is the? I know we talked about time. What are some of the problems that these people have, and how do you solve it for them?
Well, it's having the right exposure and proximity to the kind of person they're looking for. Maybe, if you're a decent looking woman, you're not going to you're not going to have a good experience with online dating. You're going to get bombarded with tons of messages, and probably some messages that you don't want to see, and things you don't want to see. And so they end up deleting their profiles. There's also a ton of scammers and bots. And then there's just people that kind of, well, of course, there's the hookups. And then there's people that are just looking for attention and maybe a pen pal. They actually don't have any intention of ever getting off their couch and meeting anyone. So we basically get rid of all of that. And we're only working with people that truly want a real relationship and a partner. They're not wanting to mess around. They want to find that person that they can ultimately spend the rest of their life with. And so our clients, they don't have the exposure to the kind of people that they're looking for, and maybe they don't have time and they don't want to deal with going on a bunch of bad dates only to find out somebody is not who they portrayed themselves to be online. And they want to find the right person with the right intentions.
Fantastic. I know finding the right person as an entrepreneur
Hmm.
is difficult, and I'm guessing that um, because the fact that people don't get any education or training on how to find their love partner or the life partner, um,
Hmm.
and then a lot of these guys, I'm guessing, are spending their life on business, and they don't probably have enough time or any focus on finding love. So they would have a what I would say the street phrase I would comes to mind is their game is not right. They don't have their game together. Am I wrong about that?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. It's just, being in the right room with the right people, ultimately
Okay.
is what a lot of them need. I mean, there are some people that, they might be newly divorced and new on the dating scene, so
Hmm.
they can benefit from utilizing some of the coaching resources that we offer. But, a lot of these people are catches. They're amazing individuals, but they just need to be in front of the right kind of person that they're seeking ultimately.
Love it. And so, with your coaching service, what do you coach them on usually?
Well, it could be anything depending on the person's needs. So all of our staff, like all the matchmakers, they're all certified matchmakers. They all have life coaching training. And, a lot of times we are just more so a cheerleader more than anything because, it can be really frustrating. Dating is hard at times. And so we need to be there to encourage them to, get back on the horse,
Yeah,
meet someone new and give it a shot because it's worth it in the end. Finding that life partner, and having that person to go through life with is really important, and we believe in it full wholeheartedly. So that's why we're all in this business. We're very passionate about it.
for sure. I'm guessing if someone is married or and they get a divorce after 10, 20, 30 years, they probably, I'm guessing
you know
that they probably don't even know what to say or how to act or what to do. Is that the kind of stuff you guys coach them on or
I
something
mean,
different?
maybe, but if people need that, but most often they have good skill, like they're successful individuals and they have good interpersonal skills and what have you. It's just really it's having that proximity to the kind of person that they're looking for. So
Okay.
we put them on the date, we plan the date. So all they have to do is just show up, have fun, get to know the person. I mean, we do other things like we can help offer wardrobe consultations or image
Hmm.
consultations. It just depends on the person's needs. And we work with different people from like in their 20s to we have clients even in their 80s. So it just depends on
20s
the
to 80s.
person. Mhm.
Give us an example. Give us keeping obviously your client's privacy. Give us a case study about an example of a client you work with. How did you find them and how did you help them?
Well, so we have our own proprietary database that anyone can join. They can just go to our website and fill out the profile form. It's at lumasearch.com, and they can be entered into our free database that way. So we have a lot of people to choose from when we're looking for a match to one of our clients. And we have over 50,000 members in that database, and these are all people that we've vetted and we've met with. So before we set up with one of our clients. So a lot of times we're finding matches just within our own proprietary database. But so like for example, when you say, give you an example, we've made a lot of matches that way. But actually, I just put together, or I actually just officiated the wedding of a couple, and he found us online and then became a client. But it was pretty funny because she was my husband's best friend's brother's wife's sister. And so she had heard about Luma through, her sister, who I knew. And so she joined our database, and then the matchmakers put them together and set up the date, and they ended up getting married just last November. I officiated their
Wow,
wedding. So it was pretty cool.
wow. I mean, you're doing an amazing service. I mean,
Mhm.
connecting people and helping them find their partners.
Yeah.
I love what you guys are doing. Um, what separates you or differentiates your company and what you do compared to some of the other matchmaking services out there?
Well, there's a lot of companies that call themselves matchmakers, but it's truly a misrepresentation of what matchmaking really is. So I call these McDonald's matchmakers, and they are really just dating services that throw people on a bunch of dates. And that could be great for somebody that wants to go on a bunch of dates. Maybe, somebody that hasn't dated and just wants to meet a lot of people. They're not ready to settle down. They just, want to get out there. That's a great service for them. But it's very confusing if you're the consumer and you're looking for a service that is very highly personalized and is really going to take your best interest into consideration when they're looking at potential matches. So our matchmaking service, Luma, works with about each matchmaker has about 15 clients at a time. And most of these services, they have literally hundreds of clients per matchmaker, which is ridiculous. There's no way for the matchmaker to really get to know their clients or even do a good job for them. So it just gives you kind of an idea of this. The real like 1-to-1 ratio really gives us a chance to be very customized, and then we're able to have a real curated experience for our clients, so then we get really good results. And we have 89% success rate for our clients, so that means 89% of our clients have actually met somebody that they could pursue a relationship with, or they did pursue a relationship with. So that's really good for any kind of dating
Yeah.
industry. So another thing, because we are more of a search firm, we're not just a dating service that just throws people on a bunch of dates.
Hmm.
We get to know our clients really well and understand, who they are, who they're looking for, and then we can go out and we find that person. And so we have our own proprietary database, but we also have recruiters on the team that we can leverage to be able to find the right one. So we're essentially like an extension of our clients, but also an executive search firm in a way. So,
All right.
yeah.
And then who are the type of
Mhm.
ideal clients that you typically look for?
Well, people that, one, they want a relationship. They are ideally maybe seeking marriage. They want a committed relationship. There are people that have maybe they don't have, they're not dealing with, they don't want to do the online dating. They're successful. They're the kind of person that people want to meet. And so we take everyone on it's a case by case basis. So we meet with them, we see what they really look like, and understand what their preferences are and if they're realistic. So they have to have realistic expectations. I always say this isn't build a boyfriend or build a bear. Build a boyfriend. And we're not magicians. We're matchmakers. So they have to be realistic and what we can provide, and then they have to go in with an open mind and an open heart.
Fantastic. Is there any type of uh, clients that you do not deal with or you don't want to deal with?
Well, like anyone that is still married or still in a relationship and has no intention of leaving that relationship, they're obviously not going to be qualified. I mean, there are a lot of people, especially nowadays, for some reason that I shouldn't say there's a lot, but there's a few people that have contacted us, and maybe they're still married and can't get divorced or don't want to get divorced for financial reasons. Or, there's some people that want to add a third person into their relationship, and that's not this kind of service. That's
Not
not
what you
something.
guys do.
No, that's a different kind
Yeah.
of service. So,
Interesting.
mhm.
Interesting. I didn't know that people, well, I guess if they have the money and they're like, "Hey, I'm just
Well,
gonna delegate and I wanna just."
yeah, it's not even just the money. It's just I think
Oh, well.
society has started to I think they start to normalize it. They see it on TV, like these sister wives and whatever. So they start to normalize it and think that
Wow.
such a thing exists. And no, that's not something that we work with. So,
Interesting.
mhm.
Interesting. Um, April, give us some of the milestones that you guys have achieved along the way since you started.
Well, I mean, we are now nationwide and even international. We work with clients all over the world, and we're Inc. 5000 company, and we have clients in every state. We've had clients in every state, and out of outside of the U.S. as well.
And are you mostly in like the English speaking countries, or what other countries are
Yes,
you guys?
yeah. I mean, our clients all speak English.
Got it. And then, so do you guys have like offices in different cities in the US, or is it all online, like through Zoom, or how does your process work?
We have several different locations, but we meet with everyone via Zoom to begin with.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And then, so what would you say are some of the challenges that you faced along the way while reaching those milestones?
Well, I mean, COVID was a huge challenge, as you can imagine, with dating in general. Yeah, I know it did well, or people online or the apps all did really well during COVID because people were just at home, typing away and scrolling away on their apps. But we actually specialize in getting people together in real life, not just communicating via apps. And
Hmm.
so we had to pivot. We had to do a lot more Zoom dates, and we it just depended on people's preferences too. We had a lot of clients that just wanted to go on hold. They were scared, and then it brought in this whole another layer of difficulty in matching because people's feelings around the political feelings as well as are you vaccinated or non-vaccinated, and so that was just another layer of complexity with dating too.
Oh God. And then I guess there's some people that didn't want to get vaccinated and they still wanted to go on a date, and you had to deal with all
Well,
that, right?
I think politics in general, since Trump was elected the first time, politics had really took a big jump in what people's preferences were in dating. It wasn't really as big of a deal prior to that, but I think since then it's been so divisive. So it's become more, and we see it more as a preference or need for a lot of
Interesting.
people. Yeah.
Very interesting. So that took I had no idea that impacted the dating world. Well, but now I guess people are like, I don't want to go out with you if you support so and so.
Yeah, I mean, it's another thing that, has made everyone very divisive.
Very interesting. So, um, what would you say is holding you and your company back right now?
Holding us back, I think a lot of times it's just finding good employees like everyone, right? So it's there's a saying that's like if it wasn't for employees and customers, business would be easy, right? And so
Right.
I think we're just I feel that that we're always like it's a juggling act of having great employees and making sure to have the right people on our team. We have an amazing team right now. I'm very fortunate to have, but if, in order to continue to grow, we have to scale. We have to have more of those people, and thankfully, we have a steady stream of applicants. So we've been fortunate in that. But it's always a challenge to find the right people with the right cultural fit and integrity and just the right work ethic because we do all work remotely. So we have very strict metrics that I require the team to adhere to in order to meet the milestones of our clients' expectations.
Love it. And then how big is your team right now?
There's about 20 people on my team.
Beauty. And if you had a magic wand for your business, what would you do with it?
Magic wand. I would get every single person every person that is single, I should say, and get them into our database and have them fill out the form and profile, so then we can consider them as a match to our clients. So that way we have, everyone that could possibly be matched
Love
available
it.
for our clients. Yeah. The first year
Interesting.
that I started the business, all I did was meet with people in order to grow my network,
Yeah.
because I wanted as many potential matches as possible. And that's what I continue to do. Like, I'm constantly meeting people and, giving out my business card at random places to random people, because I've talked to them and they seem like they would be a good fit for one of our clients.
Interesting. And I'm guessing when you say you wanted all the single persons in your database, like you want, I guess, people that fit your profile to go in your database,
Yeah,
right?
all the single people that are genuinely interested in a relationship, that are, the kind of people that desire a relationship, have are financially secure, healthy, take care of themselves, all those things. Like the people that are attractive, are going to be attractive to others.
Fantastic. So, speaking of your day-to-day operations, what does like a typical day look like for you?
For me, it's
Yeah.
different than the other people in my team, of course, but I have a lot of meetings every day. I have do a lot of social media PR stuff. I do a lot of, well, emails and just kind of directing and helping. Even help with matchmaking and stuff, so to help find matches for clients, and whatever needs to get done to help move the ship along.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Um, are you much of a reader at all?
Yeah, actually, I am. If you
You are.
see.
Okay. Give me two of your favorite books of all time.
Well, they're not really relationship based books, but two of my favorite recent ones that I've read. One of them is Seized by Max Hardberger. It's about he's a so these are books that are going, like, not, I'm into nonfiction and like really interesting people. So that's probably part of why I love what I do, because I meet a lot of amazing, really interesting people. And so Max Harbor is a basically he steals ships from pirates. So people that have already stolen the ships, and then he gets hired by maybe the ship owner or the insurance company to go out and to get retrieve the ships. And he doesn't ever use guns or any violence. He's just very slick. And
He's
so,
a good negotiator.
not even, he's just very witty, really smart, and can work his way through anything. So he ba- a lot of times he ends up stealing the ships back. I mean, it's exactly what he does. But so he has to be very witty and smart about it. He's also an attorney. He's a pilot and a ship captain. So
Wow.
yeah. He has a lot of great stories. So that book is about, it's more like short stories of all his adventures, or not all of them, but some of his adventures. So that's one that I recently read. Another one I just finished last night is called A Higher Call, and it's by um, a guy that wrote, he interviewed these two pilots. One was an American bomber pilot, and then the other one was he was a German pilot, Franz Stiegler. And Franz refused to shoot down this pilot, American bomber pilot that was flying over Germany. And Franz instead, he guided them out of German territory, and then they ended up making it back to the UK, and they survived. So the story is about their kind of their life, and really what they ended up meeting towards the end of their life, and became good friends. So
Fantastic.
yeah, an amazing story.
That
It's
sounds very
called A Higher
interesting.
Call. Yeah, yeah. It should be a movie, but it's not. Yeah,
You never know. Maybe one day you will.
it should be. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, it was very interesting World War II adventure story.
Beauty. Next question. What's one advice that made a big impact on your life or business?
Um, So the day that I decided to leave my cushy corporate job, I saw a sign. It's what is it? Waldo Emerson. It said, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone."
Mhm.
And that phrase just really hit me hard that day because I was going just back and forth, and it was really stressful, and just scary to take that leap. And I saw that sign somewhere, and it really it stood out. And it's what gave me the courage to take the leap and start my own business. Even though I had never done this before, I was just I was basically making it up as I went along and figuring out what I needed to do in order to be successful at this.
So you, with all the services you're doing with matchmaking, you didn't do it before as a service. You just made it up on the go.
Um, yeah, I worked in process improvement in
Okay.
corporate America, and I did matchmaking just for fun, but
Yeah.
not as business.
Not as a
And
service.
right as and so like the first year, I was just doing it for free and never charged anyone. Just was meeting with people. I set up a couple of people, and then I turned it into a business. So.
Fantastic. Is there any question that I should have asked that probably could have provided value to people that are watching or listening?
One thing that people always ask me is what can people do in order to be successful, or how can they improve their odds in finding the one and meeting the one? And I always tell people that I think the key difference in who is successful in finding a relationship and being in a relationship and who isn't successful, it has to do with people's expectations and just outlook in life in general. So if you're somebody that will go on a date and then come back or just think to yourself like, oh, let me find all the things that are wrong with this person. You just have a negative outlook in general, that is going to keep you single. You're going to be stuck. And yeah, you will find what you're looking for. So if you're looking for the negatives, you're definitely going to find them
You're going
in
to find it.
someone. Yeah. And then because I've seen clients that sometimes they're anyone that we introduce them to, they like everyone. They'll just fall in love with anyone. And I think my mindset going into this is that, oh, you just need to put people in front of each other and they'll fall in love. But since I think I genuinely just like people, um and I thought everybody naively, I thought everybody was like that until I started this business, and I started to realize like, yeah, there's a reason why a lot of people are single, because they're just negative. They're looking for what's wrong with everyone, and they get stuck in that cycle and they can't break out of it, or they go after people that are just unattainable. Ultimately, they're just not. They
Hmm.
don't want a relationship. They don't want a relationship with them. They're not the kind of person. So you have to do some reflection. If when people make generalized statements and they say, well, like all women are this or all men are like that, that there's generally you have to look at what's the common denominator. And that's you. And so there's probably something that you're doing that is making that kind of reaction from women or men.
What would you say is the biggest challenge you guys deal with on a day to day basis when it comes to matchmaking?
The biggest challenge, I mean, maybe it's that. It's maybe that I think it has to do actually more so with social media, and these apps have programmed people to believe that there's just endless possibilities of people out there and they don't need to settle. They can keep swiping and they'll find more and more people. So they are never willing to actually put in what's needed to create that relationship. They're just wanting to see, okay, what else is out there? Like maybe I can get a bigger fish, and maybe I can get something more. And that ends up just making these people be in this perpetual cycle of being single because it's never going to be enough. They're never going to really invest in that relationship and bond with anyone because they're just always looking for the next best thing. And so I think that's one of our biggest challenges is getting people out of that mindset and making them more so focused on the relationship and not just about, the person and how they can maybe get a better person.
Would that be then? Would that be the shiny object syndrome type of deal, where they're always
Maybe,
So
yeah,
something, they just never want to settle down, and there's something new pops up. They're like, oh, that girl is cute, or that guy's cute.
yeah, that's part of it, right? For sure.
Hmm. Beauty. This has been a great conversation. Thank you for sharing your story and your process and everything, and your expertise with our people that are watching and listening. Where can people find out more about you and your services and reach out?
Hey, you can go to lumasearch.com. It's LUMA search.com and fill out the profile form. And from there, you'll be taken to a scheduling page to schedule a time to speak with a matchmaker so she can learn more about you and who you're looking for in a match. And then you can also update your profile, add photos, do all that stuff in order to tell the matchmakers, who you are and who would be a good match for you. So,
Beauty. Gang, so go to lumasearch.com. And I'm
yep.
guessing, April, before I finish up, is it, you said that people could sign up and be in your database?
Yeah, they can join as a client and then they would be proactive. Or if they just want to be considered as a match to one of our clients, it's a reactive, it's type of way. You'd be one of 50,000 people, but it's always good for anyone to join because you never know, we might have a good match for them. So yeah, they
And they have
can.
to like
Yeah,
fill out their profile that to get matched with the right person and the rest of it.
exactly. Yep.
Okay, got it. Perfect. So again, go to lumasearch.com, fill out the form either as a client if you're serious about finding, the one, your partner, and they will help you out and book a call and see how it works out. Because I think as
Hmm.
guys do this probably more than girls are more open to receiving help than guys, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. For guys, it's tough with online dating and apps. It's like 70% men on these apps. So your odds are not that great with the apps.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get a lot more women that reach out to us because the women are like they want to be found by their guy, but
Mhm.
they also want somebody in between to make sure that this guy isn't a creep. So that's
Yeah.
why it can be really helpful for men, especially because essentially we're vetting them and we're vouching for them. We're telling these women, hey, you should meet this guy. He's great because we've met him, we've vetted him, we know him, and they trust us more than they trust some random guy messaging them on an app.
Yeah. So guys, what I was trying to say is, guys, delegate this task, and it's going to be it's going to make your life a lot easier. I mean,
Mhm.
these guys do this for a living,
Right.
and they're going to, I'm guessing, come up with a list of people that you might find interesting, and you might be interested in. Go and find love instead of you helplessly trying to find someone online on an
Mhm.
app or whatever.
Right. Rush
Anyway,
through.
the site again is lumasearch.com. Reach out to April and her team and get help.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for joining us. Gang, if you have any questions for me or April, put it in the comments of the show and we'll do our best to address your question and get back to you. You've been watching and listening to the Executive Hub Show with my guest, April Davis. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on our next episode. Bye now.